Yeah, so what's cracking,
Yeah.
people? This is the first episode of our mindset and self-development podcast. So I'm Wessel, and I'm your host, and I'm sharing this with my we should have done this for a long time. So yeah, let's introduce yourself, Alan.
Yeah. Hi, people. Like, my name is Alan. I'm 38. I'm from Mexico City. And tonight is a pleasure to be here in this podcast. Welcome to the first edition of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like we've been ever since we met like 7 years ago, we have been we've been on this journey of like self-development, like working on our mindset, especially when I met you. Like I've learned so much from you because you were so much older than me, so what's always so fascinating about you and about mindset and about self-development, like how do you view in your situation and in your life that mindset and self-development is important for you as a man?
Well, I think that many people that start a similar journey like us, they do not realize it that the mindset actually is like the cornerstone of everything. Because like usually what the society is like trying us to do is like, yeah, it's okay that like doing this, you're doing that. It's okay that you're weak, that you are untrained, that you are, that you have no the standards for yourself. Um, in the moment when you realize that most of the problems are because you have the wrong mindset in the place in the where you are located in that moment at that moment in life, is what is going to change your life. Um, how to say it? To be like short, you make your own hell, or you will make your own heaven, according to this. I think that many people can identify. Like right now, we live in the age of globalization and stuff. So if you want to change your home place, like you just need to book an airplane and move to another country. But what is going to happen is that you were in your hometown, let's say, and then you move to another place. But the problems that you have, sooner or later, they are going to catch you up in that new place, in where you are like going with all your hopes and dreams and stuff, and say like, yeah, like I'm packing all my hopes and all my dreams. I'm going to a new place. I'm going to start like from zero, like blank page, start over, like whatever you want to call it. And then at some point, it happened. It happens to me. It happens to many people that I have met. And after some time, like all the problems and all the issues that you were dealing back at home, like they just start to appear, because the problem is not the place, the problem is not the people around you, the problem is you, and the problem is the mindset that you have into that place. So I think that's the reason why the mentality is like the most important, like to achieve a good life.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned that you make your own heaven or you make your own hell, depending upon the way you perceive your situation to be. And that could be that could be financial, that could be with your relationship, that could be with your family. That's basically that could be with anything. But your perception and the way you deal with your situation is always up to you. No matter
Yeah.
no matter how bad your situation, no matter how good your situation, it's always, I'm in this position, and based on this position, I'm going to make the best I'm going to make the best out of it, and I'm going to get
Yes.
I'm going to get strong. I'm going to get stronger from this. So often, for example, when we speak with people, they we often encounter that people have a victim mindset. But what we do is the exact opposite. We say like, okay, like even though I didn't cause this situation, it's still my responsibility to deal with it.
Yeah,
good or
I
bad, good
remember.
or bad. It's my
Yeah,
responsibility to deal with it.
I remember that some time ago we have a conversation and you mentioned like you make like a perfect resume of this in one phrase. Like you were saying, yeah, like life is giving us the cards. Like it's our duty to know how to play them. Like all this that you're mentioning, I remember that you say that phrase. And that moment I was just like, yeah, motherfucker is right.
Yeah, but it's indeed, but it's life is like a game of cards, or like a game, like, or a game of, like a game of chess. But I like the phrase, like, yeah, these are the cards that were dealt. Like,
Yes.
I like to phrase it that way. But um it's almost as if in any situation, like, so for example, like something bad happened at work, like your boss is scolding at you, or an important project was taken from you, or a business, you lost an important business client, or could be whenever. Like, that's the card. That's the card in that moment that was dealt to you. And then based on that situation, you could say, like, oh yeah, well, my competitors are this, or like, the other colleague, like he got the promotion and I didn't. But those are the cards that were dealt. Like, how are you going to deal with the situation right now? Are we going to sit here, for 3 months, or for like half a year, and just like cry about what happened like yesterday? That's not that. That's for me. For me, the cornerstone of a strong mindset is always taking responsibility for where you are, even if you didn't create the situation, even if it was fair or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is, like, you, and moving forward to whatever your next goal is going to be.
Yeah, now that like when you mentioned that, um, when you mention like all this situation, it comes to my mind. Like, we live in a society that is all the time like trying to say to us, like, do not make mistakes, do not make mistakes, do not make mistakes, do not make mistakes. The situation is that, geez, everybody's going to make mistakes. You mentioned like some mistakes, like in a professional way, in a personal way, and stuff. But like, to change your mentality, you need to understand that to not make mistakes is almost impossible, because you learn actually when you win something, you learn something. But when you lose something, when you make a mistake, if you have the right mindset, you're going to learn like way more from that mistake. And like in that moment, like, we feel bad, it is painful, like we beat ourselves down, like, yeah, like, I'm an idiot, I'm an imbecile, I'm a moron, I'm a this, I'm that. But like, again, like, as you mentioned, like, the important thing is, okay, like, this happened, and now how I'm going to take it. Like, I'm going to sit in here and to cry like whole night, or to be like angry all the time about it. Okay, like, you have the right to feel, but after you finish with your feelings, like, you need to channel that energy into solve the situation, and to make it like better. Okay, I don't know, like, maybe I lost a client because I made a mistake. Okay, like, I can see I fail in this and this and this and this and this. So for the next time when I'm having a client, I'm not going to make like this and these mistakes. If you want to get pro, like, you need to practice, to practice, to practice. And when you're practicing, of course that you're going to fail so many times. Like, if if you ask to whomever, choose choose a name, that you want, like, from a man that you say, like, oh my god, like, this motherfucker is close to God or something. Just tell me one name.
Um, Whatever, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay,
Random. It's just a random name. And
even if you go and you ask to Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, you were a baby once, he's going to say yes. And like, when you were a baby, you are learning to walk. So you ask to Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay, like, you are such a badass motherfucker and stuff. So, like, you're going to tell me that Arnold Schwarzenegger never tripped down, that he never felt when he was learning to walk.
maybe he was born. He was born Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, that's my point, like it's exactly what I'm saying. Like we need to
Yeah,
learn to walk, we need to learn to walk. And in that process, everybody is tripping down, everybody's falling, into the front, you fall to the back, like you're trying to hold yourself, like it's something. It's the same for everybody. Uh-huh.
yeah,
But at some point, like your journey, like you need you need to keep going into your journey. So that's what I wanted to say with my example. Like nobody was born with the privileged knowledge on how to do it. Not even Arnold Schwarzenegger knew how to walk properly.
yeah, yeah. And also, with the difficult, well, I understand that most people ultimately, if they decide like at some point in their life, I think everybody has something is forcing them to self-develop, but it's like self-development and working on your mindset is something that takes a lot of effort and it can be very painful. For example, like you and I, we're fighters. You don't become a better fighter without getting punched in the face. Like,
Yeah,
and that's if you never get punched in the face. Like I know some guys that I'm sparring with. Like they train for a year or for 2 years, but they never sparred. Yeah, so they still don't know how to fight. You know, so there's no growth without going through any pain. This just
yeah,
it
yeah.
just
That's totally,
it doesn't exist. It
you
doesn't
are right.
exist.
That 100% about it.
Yeah.
You are totally right about it. Yeah, it's what I was like trying also to say with my example. Now that we're going to into the part of the self development and stuff, just you mentioned, like there's people that they do not realize how important that's it. Like in this moment, it comes to my mind what Andrew Tate was saying, like like somebody needs to flip the burgers.
Yeah.
At,
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, this this point of self development is important not only for us as a man, but I think that it's important for everybody, uh,
Yeah.
men and women. The point what is important is that you have a talent. It doesn't matter. Like God gives you a talent for something. Maybe it's hidden, but you need to look for it. And many people, many people, they do not try to look for it. Many people do not find it because of that. And when the life is coming and the years are going and going and going, at some point you just stand, like looking yourself into the mirror and say, like, what happened with my life? What have I done with my life? Like, I I can die tomorrow and nobody's going to remember me. Like
Yeah.
I can die tomorrow and my family is going to cry, and then like everybody's going to continue living like I was not in here at all.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is that many people, they they have their internal struggles, and they make their lives like a hell and miserable. Like they're fighting with all the people, they're like having arguments and stuff, and they do not realize it, that part of the problem is themselves. Uh-huh. They do not realize part of the problem is themselves. And in that moment when the time is coming that they are going to die, but they realize it, that
Oh
their
damn! I
life
wasted
has
so
been
much on. Yeah, I wasted so
sad.
much time. Yeah.
Yeah, and their life has been like sad, bitter, like like I have seen, sadly, I have the chance to see these situations, and like it's sad as fuck. Like the people just realize it, like like my life was a waste. I could not forgive myself for all the mistakes that I did, and I could not forgive the rest of the people that I love because of the mistakes that they made, and
Yeah.
they die like this. So I think that right now we should refer to the audience that is looking this. and ask to them like,
What are you
if
good
you are
at?
going,
What are you good
you're
at?
going,
Yeah.
yeah, what are you good at? And if you're going in that, if you're going into that way, like we suggest that you change your way, because like I don't think that that somebody in the audience is going to say like, yeah, I want to end up my life and my days just like that, like having an argument with everybody, hating everybody, and everybody hating me.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's that ultimately that's also part of the reason that another cornerstone that I see as another cornerstone of self-development is looking critically, always looking critically at yourself, and being very critical of yourself, and looking at what you're good at and what you're not good at. For example, for myself, I know, like we spoke about this today actually, like me and my roommate, and yeah, he is a very good developer, and I tried to develop like software development at some point, like maybe like 2 years ago, but I know, of course, that if I put all my effort in it, that I can do it. But will it be efficient? No, but I guess because that's not where my talent is, you know. But for example, with regard to talking, and especially with about like the way that I'm thinking, like people, they always look at me like, you can never stop talking, and like somehow you're very creative with words, and other people, they look up to me for that, even like, and I look up to other people because they're such good like software developers, or doing something else that is very that they are very good at, that I will never be, because that's not where my talent is. I know for myself that I am a good talker, and that's part of the reason that I said, that I told you, like, I know from you that it's similar. I know that you have a lot to talk, that you have a lot to say, and also that that you have a mindset that's that allows you to always level up in your life, and that's exactly the reason that I said, like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. I mean, we can provide so much value to other people with regard to self-development and mindset.
You make like, speaking about it, like right now you just touch like one of the main points. um it's okay to go and to tell to the people, I don't know. It's part of
Yeah,
the self, it's part of the self development. um Sometimes, like, we as a man, we have like our ego, and sometimes like we try to pretend that we know everything and we do not need help. But this kind of mentality and this kind of attitude is so fucked up. I'm quite happy actually that you and the guys started like this kind of podcast, because like when the people come and they start to see like this podcast with the things that we're going to talk about, and if they apply it correctly into their lives, like they're going to save themselves like 6, 7, 10, 15 years like of struggling.
yeah,
If they are smart enough, and they can assimilate into their lives what we're speaking about, they're going to be able to save themselves like all these troubles. um Now I will try to take the point of the ego. Like, we pretend to say like, yeah, like, I know everything, I know, like, it's cool, like, I'm going to do it by myself and so. That's really fucked up. That is going to make you waste a lot of time. um the best situation, the best case scenario is that you go with somebody, like, you humble yourself, and you tell, okay, like, really, I don't know anything about like this topic, or like, I have some knowledge into the topic, but the topic is limited. But like, for you to come to this conclusion, like, you need to work internally with yourself. Like, many times I told to the people, like, you can like to everybody, but you cannot like to yourself. um and to
yes,
work into
yes,
yourself, and to work into yourself is like the most difficult thing that you're going to be facing into your way to the top. Because like really, like if you want to set yourself apart from the top, the first step is that you really wish for it and you work for it. You know, like it's like, okay, like I'm tired with my life, I'm tired with this, I'm tired with that. You know, like I want to change, I need a change. And the people is okay, like where do I start? Like what should I watch? Like where should I go? Like I go and I buy like new clothes, or you know, like these kind of situations. But no, like to the people of the audience that is looking at this, like the first thing that you need to do is start to talk with yourself, start to work with yourself. That is going to be like the most difficult shit that you're going to do. Like you cannot lie to yourself, like
Yeah.
like at all. You make a mistake, and inside of you, you know why you made the mistake. You let's put an example, like somebody comes and somebody throws to you like some bullshit, and then in that moment, you know, like you overreact and stuff, like you know, like you are overreacting because something inside you.
Yeah, somebody goes to
is
you, throws you a hissy fit, or like some solid, like some stupid joke, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. In that moment, you overreact because you take it like everything like so personal. You think that the attack is like straight and direct on you. Okay, maybe the attack is straight to you, to your person, but you know, in that moment, like you are, according to your mind, you are going to decide like how strong that attack is going to be. If you have a correct mindset, like somebody will come and say like, oh yeah, you know, like maybe somebody will come and say like, yeah, you are a bastard, and you're going to say, oh yeah, well, you know, like it's cool to be like a bastard like me and stuff. Or if somebody comes and says to you, yeah, you know, like you're a bastard, like you know, like maybe your parents, like they have like this situation and stuff, and you know, like you take it like so personally, and immediately like you react, and you try to go into that people troll and stuff. You know, like it's you who is like having the problem. Well, you know, like okay, maybe I'm a bastard, but you know, like I did not make the decision to be like this. I was not in that moment responsible for the situation that my parents were like doing and stuff. Yeah, again, like it's everything about the mind, and how you're going to process like all the stimulus and all the bullshit that the war is going to throw at you.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. And also you put the finger at the right like at the right spot when you talk about your ego, you know, because you can never grow in any area if you're not going to if you're not going to take feedback, and you're not going to look critical. You're not going to look critical at yourself. Of course you should have an ego, but you should place that ego at the right place.
Yeah,
It's very
totally.
important. It's very important. It's very important that you look critical at yourself. You say like, yeah, you know, maybe, you know, I'm not a good guitar player, or I'm not a good businessman, or I'm not a good salesperson, or whatever skill that you decide that's important for you, you know. But you need to take feedback from the right people that can help you level up in whatever skill you decide to like, that can level up your like the way you dress, or like the way you speak, the way the way you handle criticism, that kind of stuff. Whatever you choose, like it's a core, like it's another thing that I see as fundamental for mindset. You know, that you're always coachable. And I hear this from like I hear this from people from people that coach me all the time. For example, my coach, like when he gives me a recommendation, it's never that I'm saying like, well, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to, or I don't agree with it. I mean, you're the specialist, so, and I'm not there, and I know that you're training such. So I know that you have a lot of experience with this, so I'm going to be humble. Humility is crucial. Having an ego is, but humility is as well. It's the fastest way to go. It's the fastest way to going to level up.
Yeah, now that you mentioned like the important topic uh, the friends. Um, you know, since we're in the kindergarten, like we're hanging around with the rest of the boys, and you know, like we're saying, like, yeah, yeah, you know, like do not hang around with the girls and stuff. You know, as we grow up and we progress in life, um, you will start to realize that like the friends are a key factor. Um, I had so many friends back in the day when I still like live in the hood. Uh, well, maybe the people they do not know, but I come from one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Mexico City. So the situation is that now that I grow up, and now that I am at this point in my life, I can look back and I can see that how these kind of friends, like how they were like dragging me. You know, like all the time there was like fights with them or arguments with them because well, they do not like to study, they do not like to train. Um, they were not responsible for their actions. Like they were all the time like trying to blame somebody else. They were all the time like doing criticism to me, but you know, like criticism in a bad way. Uh, there's a difference in criticism, and you know, like you must accept like a good criticism, but also like you need to remember that you are not going to accept criticism from somebody who build shit. You know, like
Yeah, we never achieved anything. Yes.
yeah, exactly. Like people, when you start in this self-development way, like you are going to you are going to get beef from everybody. Like everybody is going to throw insults and shit at you. And you know, in that moment, you need you need to be certain of what you are doing, and with that, you can move forward. You know, like if somebody who is the 120 kilos fat, who has a like a 9 to 5 job that is like just flipping burgers. Uh, I mean, like no offense to the people in McDonald's, but you know, like you know what I mean, and they know what I mean. Uh, and somebody who all the time is like angry, bitter, and you know, like these kind of people when you try to live like that friendship, they're going to try to say to you, you know, like do not go over there, like you know, like you are not worthy of that, like you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you should be like bitter just as me. Like, I'm not happy with my life, and I cannot allow that you are going to be like happy with yours. So you know, in that moment, like there is no way like how to how to negotiate or how to tell to the people that make them understand, you know, like I'm doing this and that because I'm tired of this, I want to improve my life, I want to do like something different that everybody of you is like doing. No, you like really you're not going to convince them. If you
Yeah.
appreciate that people because maybe you spend like some years of your life with that person, like my suggestion is that do not try to evangelize them in that moment. Do not try to talk to talk your way out with that person. You know, like start to work, and when that people they start to see that you're like working, like if they really want to change their life at some point, like they're going to follow you. They're going to ask to directions to you.
Yeah.
And in my case of the people that I mentioned that I was with in the hood, like I just come back that oh, damn it. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's sad because, you know, like when we were younger, we were talking about like dreams and hopes and plans that we made for ourselves. And you just go back to the hood and you met them and you see that they drop everything. They do not change. They do not make any decision to change their life. Like they just went with the current, with the current. Yeah,
Yeah. With
well,
the current. Yeah.
they just went like, and you see them like living in a small flat, like all the time, like struggling for money with a women that not only do not love them, like basically, I saw it myself. Like that woman hates them. Um, they have children and they have no idea on how to direct like their children and stuff. So really, it's a sad life. It's totally
Yeah.
it's totally sad, and I appreciate like some of these people. Not all of them were like an assholes like all the time with my person, but when I met like these ones, like really is heartbroken. It breaks your heart. But well, like I guess that life is life. So
Yeah, yeah, but indeed, if people, if ultimately the moment you start to level up in your own life, you're inevitably going to leave other people behind, because most people, they are very comfortable, they're very comfortable in their own situation, and they the moment that they see you level up, it reflects bad on them, because that means that either they need to take action themselves, or they have to admit that they are worse, than you. So that's just that it, in either way, it doesn't reflect well on them. Most people, if you're going to find one person that says like, oh well, like I'll never do what you did, but I really enjoy that. I really enjoy you seeing doing better, and like making more money, like traveling to better places, like having your own business, doing well in your job, or whatever you choose to level up in your life. Yeah, like that's already a rarity, to be honest. Like most people, they're going to try to drag you down, and that's very sad. But human nature, human beings, they are pretty static. They are pretty static by nature. They always they're people are very ingrained in their own habits, and if they are built in a particular position in their life and in society, they tend to stay there. So
yeah, like do you note like the point in this moment that of the com of the comfort, like you are in your comfort zone, and like most of the people, they stay in there all the time. uh there's maybe a small percentage of the population who is not like staying into this area just because like some traumatic experience like happened to them, like something happened that comfort area that they used to move around, like suddenly is like broken. um I see like many of these also, like in the university when I was like doing my bachelor's, like it was quite funny because like all the time I was like trying to like but that time like my dream was to go and study abroad, and in Mexico is quite a big deal because it's not that easy at all. And
yeah, I know.
and like all the time like I was like working toward this and stuff, and like the situation is that the rest of my class, like it was weird, like because everybody was like bullying me. Like it's stupid that you listen and you see like that you listen like this situation in a university, and you see like this kind of behavior in a university when you suppose that like everybody's more mature and everybody has like plans and what to do with their life and stuff. But it happens to, and how it happens to me, like it happens to you, it happens to everybody who wants to improve their life, because as you mentioned, like human by nature is like quite static, but like right now we live in a world that we cannot be static anymore. um, the war is like rolling, and it's going like shifting speeds like a fucking Ferrari and so and shit. So like right now we need to move. That's it. Like now the situation, to all the audience, I have to tell you, like the situation right now is like you move or you're going to get crushed.
Yes.
So
Yes, exactly.
okay, like you move or like somebody has to flip the burger. So
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
to,
but yeah, it's like that. It's actually, we had also a conversation like this today. I mean, imagine if you like today's today's society moves so fast, and especially today's economy. I mean, you can have a you can create a fantastic software like, or a like some platform that that, and you have like millions and millions of customers, you know, like imagine like an Uber or like some social media platform, like in a couple years, like or overnight, they could like they could go under and they lose everything. For example, I don't know if you heard this story, but like you and I, like we drove City B while we were in Lithuania.
yeah,
Like City B, just for the others, like that's a car, like it's a car sharing company. But of
yeah,
course, like that car share, that company cannot operate without its software. So in fact, of course, like we buy like you rent a car from a company, but ultimately it's a software company. But that company, like one time it had a like it had a security breach, and like many credit, like many
ouch.
many of people's credit cards details, they ended up on the like they ended up in the dark web or some other freaking place. So actually, um you know, we were together, and at some point I was like, I was in Mexico, I was with you about it, and it was like, why in the bloody fucking hell is my credit card not working?
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking like, it could be because of this, because maybe some sketchy company in Asia, or in like, or in Russia or whatever, in somewhere
Somebody,
far away. Yeah.
somebody in Nigeria, like
Somebody. Yeah.
somebody in Nigeria, some Nigerian prince, or
Yeah.
some Indian businessman. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we
yeah,
know that
yeah. They
story.
hacked. Yeah, yeah. So they hacked City B, and at some point, like I could not make any payments. So I think that my cards, like my credit card details, they ended up on the internet because they were known to City B. And but imagine that company, that company will never recover from this. It's just, it won't happen. And after that, like because they came, and very quickly, like City B became very popular in Lithuania.
Yes.
But it's like after this, it just went downhill. And that's because that's very easy, because who is going to trust their credit card details to this company now? I mean,
Well,
that's how
yeah,
fast things can go right now.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's the same with social media platforms. I mean, imagine TikTok 3 years ago, it didn't even exist, and right now it has like 2 billion users, and people there are watching it all the freaking time.
yeah. It's like Bitcoin. Like 2 years ago was in the top. Like right now, like it's almost dying.
Yeah, and in 2 years from now, it will be again going to the moon, and then like again going rock bottom. You know, that's how shit goes right now. Things are extreme because we're living on the like the internet. Like the internet's the wild west.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like I don't think that you can find like a better way to summarize it. Like yeah, the internet is like the Wild West. Yes, exactly, it's like that. No man, like
Yeah, yeah,
uh about like when you mention like the credit cards and stuff, like it's like your mindset and your improvement. Like for that, you're going to need money. Um, so my advice, like for the people in the audience and stuff, is that, well, like you are going to save like so much year of struggle and pain if you gather like some amount of money and then you put into somebody who can like coach you into what you want to do. Like for example, in my case, like right now I have not even started, but I spoke already with a coach that is a dancing coach, and he's quite good. Like like right now we're like trying to agree into the schedule and stuff, but like this is going to make me like a better dancer. That if every I wait that every weekend, like the party somewhere place in the city is like going on, and then I just drive into that place, and then like I start to go and like try to dance by myself and stuff, you know. Of course, like you can say that it has like some pros and some cons, but you know, like when you get somebody who is going to coach you, like all this time and all these doubts that
Yeah,
you're
you
going to,
shortcut everything.
yes, exactly. Like you're going to compress everything like in a shorter period of time, and all the questions, all the doubts, like all the situations that are coming to your mind when you go through this process, like they're going to be like easy solved because you will
Yeah.
have somebody who already has that experience. So yeah, that will be like my advice to
Yeah.
the people at the audience. Like, you know, like do not be a greedy bastard. Okay, like be a greedy bastard, but go work hard, save your money, and then like put it into your self-development. Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's the same for me. Like I still do that. Like I put all my resources, like all my I put a lot of money into my own self-development because there's no better investment than in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can skip you can skip any vacation. Yeah, you can miss that vacation, but you cannot miss your you cannot miss your self-development, man. Like yourself is like the man that you look into that you look in that you look at in the morning when you look in the mirror. That's like put it into yourself. That's the most important. That's where you're always going to get the best ROI.
You
Yeah.
also touched another important like point, like right now, you know, like when you speak about like the man that you look at the mirror, you know, people like one day you're going to wake up, you're going to look at the mirror, and then after you look at the mirror, you're going to look into the bed. And by that time in life, like maybe you see a wife, a couple of kids and stuff. If it was the women that you choose, like you're going to be happy as fuck. And when you see like those kids, like you're going to adore those kids in there. But if it's not the case, when you look yourself into the mirror, you are going to have a huge regret because you are going to look yourself into the mirror. You are going to look yourself into the eyes and you're going to say, I sacrifice all my dreams, all my hopes, all my plans for that person that is like laying into that bed right now. And that person is not giving a shit, you know?
Yeah.
So, well, you know, I leave that to the audience so they can
Yeah.
like think about it, you know. It's about like
Yeah indeed. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, we have to wrap up. We have been talking for 45 minutes. So
okay.
yeah, people. So this is first. It was Trade Fire, and we're on to the next. Peace.